All right. Mom of Erskine. I'm just going to say that there's this guising part of Halloween that has transferred over the years. And just a little bit of the backstory here. I grew up for a period of time when I lived with my mom, single parent. She worked as hard as she possibly could to provide for the family, to provide for me. And so I want to be very respectful about this. She was often, I was what was considered to be a latchkey kid. And so I would come home from school around 3 or 4 o'clock. And then from 4 o'clock until 10 o'clock, I would actually be by myself. There was no dad at the home, no extended relatives. It was just my mom and I that lived in an apartment in Round Rock, Texas, right outside of Austin. And I got into all sorts of mischief. I was not saved at the time, and the influence of people that I had around me were not good. I was not a good influence on them as well. And so we would always come to this time of trick or treating and the origins of guising and all the different things that are found there. Really, the seeds of that pagan revelry spilled out into people doing tricks and a lot of different things on people, destruction of property, hooliganism. And I would say maybe in that category, I fell a little bit too much with some of my friends running around on Halloween into the area of like hooliganism. And so I do apologize to any property that was damaged or anything that may have happened during that time. But there was generally a lack of supervision. And so we could kind of do whatever it is that we wanted to do. And we had permission to do it because October 31st, we can not only dress up in our costume, but we were going to go to their house. And if they didn't give us the candy that we wanted, something bad was going to happen. So trick or treat, that was my earliest experience with it. It wasn't friendly neighborhood, going to the church, trunk or treat. There was none of that stuff. There was none of that nonsense. And tomorrow, I'm going to give you guys an even worse confession about some things that I did, even when I was in the ministry related to this subject of Halloween. I will continue, but I will say this. Yesterday, I had an opportunity to go to my daughter's class because the regular teacher was out. And I was teaching a lesson on the 1900s, and I was giving the kids some 5 essentials. And it seems like a non sequitur, but this actually relates. I was giving the kids some essentials, foundations for the 1900s that would help them to understand the rest of the course of American history. And so I write history curriculum from time to time. And I was talking about the 1900s, and I was saying this was an unprecedented time of technology, development, invention, and immigration that took place in our country. A lot of Irish immigrants were coming into our country, a lot of immigrants from a lot of different places because of some of the open door policies. As I was talking about this and preparing this lesson today, it also dawned on me that along with the population influx that was happening in the United States during that 1900s, in the early 1900s, there was a lot of Irish immigrants who were not only bringing themselves, but bringing their culture as well. And so that was one of the things that people were able to see happen during this. And this is what this part of the video is going to refer to.
Irish and Scottish immigrants revived these old traditions. The result was trick-or-treating. At first, it was much more about the tricks, in the form of pranks and hijinks, than the treats. It wasn't until the 1950s that the custom took on its current family-friendly, kid-centered form. Today,
family-friendly. Okay, we'll keep going.
Halloween is big business, with U.S. consumers spending more than $2.5 billion on costumes annually.
Did you guys get that figure? Let me stop the tape. Run that thing back. Yeah. There we go. $2.5 billion a year. Big business when it comes to Halloween, Halloween costumes, Halloween parties, Halloween celebrations, Halloween movies. This is big business, and the number and the figure that they gave here, you can fact check them. I need to do that myself. $2.5 billion related to Halloween. All right.
Big business, with U.S. consumers spending more than $2.5 billion on costumes.
Where does that rank?
Add in the candy, and it's estimated that Americans spend up to $6 billion on Halloween each.
Up to $6 billion a year on Halloween. There's a season and a ramp up leading to it. There's sort of the big Halloween party, Halloween celebration time. $6 billion a year Where does that rank?
each year, making it the second most commercial holiday after Christmas. So whether you're
Second most commercial holiday after Christmas. Now, I know at some point you guys are probably going to ask me the question, well, what about Christmas? We'll deal with that when we get to Christmas. But for right now, we're in this ramp up season that's going to Halloween. And I would imagine, I don't know, it may not be 6 billion right now because our economy